record to the cloud. All right, cool. So that should get going here. And yeah, so just we're going to go through how to promote a joint Scouts meeting. Sort of really in the fall, we want to focus on a time, date, location, open house event for every Cub Scout pack in our service area. That's where we're going to get our most bang for buck. It's always great to have posters and yard signs and other thing out in the neighborhood with your location and contact information and when your meetings are and stuff like that. But super important this time of year to have a time, date, location, open house meeting that you're casting a really wide net. So we'll spend quite a bit of time talking about how to promote that, then sort of actually how to do the meeting itself and some ideas there. And feel free if you guys have found some great ways to do that. And then we'll sort of follow up with some of the after the fact things of onboarding new families there, and certainly invite everybody to jump in on any ideas that you have there. So, by way of introductions, my name is John Padgett. I'm the Seattle Territory Director. I'm going to turn it over to Tim. You want to introduce yourself there? Okay, Tim, I don't think we could hear you there. So it looks like your mute button's open. Anyway, I'm just going to introduce Tim here. So Tim's our district associate for the Seattle Territory. And so we're a team working together to help you guys. I live in Seward Park. Tim lives up in Snohomish, so sort of matter of practicality, Tim will be serving most of the units up in the Aurora district, and I'll be serving the units that are in the Duwamish district. So, but we're both here to help you guys out there. Let's go around the horn. Greg, you're next on my list here as I'm looking around the screen, and I'm sure I'll move around. So, okay. Want to say hi?
Yeah, I'm with Pack 144. I think I've been with the pack probably 5 years now, and so second kid's really in the middle of it, and I got one to go who's 5. So we'll continue being with Pack 144 with it for a while.
Awesome. Claudia, you want to say hi?
Hi, my name is Claudia. I'm from Pack 319 at St. Luke's School. I've been with the Scouts since my daughter was in 1st grade, and she's going into 3rd now.
Awesome. Ken, you want to say hi?
Good evening. This is Ken. I'm in West Seattle. I'm with Troop 282 and Pack 793. Unfortunately, I don't have a kid in Scouts anymore because he eagled out a few years ago, but I'm still helping out where I can, especially trying to rebuild the pack after COVID.
Awesome. And G, you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I don't have my video. I'm actually helping my kid with homework right now. But I am G. I'm from Pack. I'm from Pack 319 as well. My son is crossing over, or has crossed over, and will be starting the troop. But my daughter started last year, so she will be a Tiger this year.
All right, excellent. It's cool to see these families that have multiple kids in Scouts, and like you and Greg are around for a while. Hey, VJ, you want to say hi?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Hopefully my video is working too. I'm also helping my kids. I have 2 kids. One's a wolf and one's a bear, and they're both in Cub Scouts. I just became the Cub Master for Pack 427 based out of Redmond.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thanks for coming out. 427, so not in Seattle. Some of this will be specific to Seattle Territory, but I think you can apply it to almost any school district anywhere. So thanks for coming out. That's awesome. And we've got a DJ and I think one of our other packs here too. So I thought you were from Pack 177, but you're not. So that's awesome. Good to have you on board. So. All right, I think Pack 390 or 319 wins the attendance award here. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. Oh, cool, it is screen 3. So you guys can follow along with the agenda here. And so there, let's talk about promoting a Joint Scouts event. There's a really good website called scouting.org/recruitment. And I think I thought I had that pulled up. Oh, here it is, right there. And that resource is in your agenda. There are recruitment materials galore in here, even things like, I mean, maybe your school has a big TV while people are walking in, they'll play PowerPoint slides or videos or something like that, and maybe it'll put on a promotion video. I mean, it might be something that's so unique or something like that that they don't have a policy not to do it or something like that. So there's some really good stuff on there. You know, the old school flyers, there's posters, there's social media images and stuff like that. We'll talk about leveraging social media. And there's some tools on there for social media. I mean, it's got sort of everything, more webinars than this if you want to do that. Mostly what you're going to be going to here are going to be the venture on materials for Cub Scouting. And then, of course, they got stuff for those folks that are involved in troops and venture crews. They've got stuff in there for that as well. So great little resource there. There's the joining event plan. So that's your plan for your open house. We'll talk about that. Geofencing, we'll talk about that. Use leveraging social media. So just want to point you to that resource right there. Let's see. The other thing, you want to make sure that your pack is on the map at Be a Scout. So Scouting does a lot of media buys on social media. So anytime someone is searching for Cub Scouts near me, is there a Cub Scout pack in my neighborhood, stuff like that, they're going to stumble, should be the first thing, they'll go to beascout.scouting.org, and then you'll put in your zip code, and then it'll list the packs that are closest to you there. So it'd be a good idea to go find your own Cub Scout pack at beascout.scouting.org and make sure that this information is up to date. And then from there, people can click on the request more information. They'll fill out an interest form, or they can go ahead and apply, take care of all their dues and everything right from here. So you can see that some of these have really good information, like this pack 321. Meetings are each Tuesday at Broadview Thompson, so that makes sense right there. They've got a website listed. You know, it looks pretty good there. So make sure that you've got some good basic information there about your Cub Scout pack. Let's see here. And then you'll want to start, make sure that you've, as you collect leads from beascout.org, you're going to want to make sure that you follow up on those leads. Probably have someone in your Cub Scout pack that's designated to do that. And the follow-up is going, where you do that, you're going to get this cryptic email if you are one of the key 3 for your unit. That's the chartering organization representative, the Cub Master, or the committee chairperson. You can also have a key 3 delegate that can also get those emails and do the follow-up. And then you can have a membership inquiry delegate too that can only follow up on the inquiries here. So let me show you where that is. Don't expire my session. All right. So as you get these invitations in, they're going to show, you're going to go to your my.scouting.org account, and then it is going to be here under Application Manager is how I got to here. And so the 2 main tabs are going to be Invitation and Application. So if you look at the invitations right here, I'm looking at the whole Seattle territory, but I'll just look at one that's been opened up here. So this is just basic information. this one has no comments on here, but they might say, how much does it cost to join? What night are the meetings? We can only meet on Wednesday night. Do you have anything for me or something like that? So you can reach out to them. Now, in this case, Kevin Sullivan here, they happen to reach out to PAC 167. Looks like Kevin Sullivan's been keeping notes on here of when he's been corresponding with them here too. So you can leave some notes in there as you correspond with them. And then when it's time for them to join, you know, after you've had some correspondence, hey, you want to join? I'm going to send you an application. You can click this link right there, and it'll send them an email with an invitation to join, and they can fill out the application and pay online there. So this is all really good stuff. So we'll leverage a lot of this as we go through the joining meeting here. Let's see here. Oh, let's talk a little bit about social media. For this event, I made a Facebook event at the Aurora District's Facebook site. And so Facebook keeps moving things around. So you might have someone, I had to go find someone in our office that uses Facebook more than I do to remind me where the button is to set up an event. But I created an event for tonight. And with just a little bit of what was going to be on the agenda, I probably could have made a picture, grabbed a picture from scouting.org/recruitment, put that in there to drag some more interest to that. But the important thing here is here's where your local Cub Scout PAC is going to want to spend probably between $30 and $50. And you're going to hit this button that says Boost Event. And from there, you can get this event out beyond your audience that's subscribed to your PAC's Facebook page. And it's really cool. You can pick families that have elementary school age kids. You can narrow down to geography around your around a radius, around your meeting location. People that are interested in volunteer activities for their kids, people that are interested in the outdoors. You can sort of narrow down some of those parameters. And it actually works really well. I'll give you an example. I'm president of a community sailing center in Renton, and we do an annual open house. And so we take people out for a 40-minute sail and get a bunch of volunteer skippers, and we spend a whole day taking people out sailing. We took 120 people out sailing, and then we had another 200 people on our wait list for the event because we scheduled time slots for them to come. So, and that all happened, I think, within a day of spending $50 on Facebook. I probably didn't even need to spend that much on Facebook advertising, but that's going to be a good traction there. So once you to get in those details, you got to figure out how to put up a dated event in Facebook. So another good reason to have a time, date, and location for an open house, and then click on the Boost event there. Let's see where we're at here. Yeah, so that's what, when you see the term geofencing, that's what geofencing is. They'll have you put a radius around the location where the meeting is, or where you're trying to attract people from. Maybe it's the elementary school that your Cub Scout PAC pulls from there. All right, getting the word out through our local school district. So we serve, of course, Seattle, Shoreline, Highline School District, and probably VJ, probably Lake Washington, I assume, for you, or something along those lines. So I don't know, at least all the ones around Seattle, they use a flyer distribution system called Peach Jar. And so you can go to the school district's website. That'll be the portal into Peach Jar. And they generally, believe it's $25 per school, and they will deliver an electronic flyer to each family. So that's sort of a required thing that you need to do to spend a little bit of money to invite some more families to join your Cub Scout PAC there. And it actually works pretty good. There's you don't have to necessarily go to the school. You can do this in 11 o'clock at night and stuff like that. I know at least with Shoreline Seattle school districts, my experience is they've been pretty quick of approving those the next day and getting those out to people's email. So a lot of people see things that are going on through the school through Peachjar there. So there's some other things you might be able to do sort of around social media and other electronic ways of getting the word out and sort of analog ways. Nextdoor is always a good one to get something published on, and that /recruitment at scouting.org is a good place to get a flyer for those kind of things, or social media image, or you could use something that local. The people might recognize local families or a local landmark where you've had an event or something like that. That's always good stuff to use there. The school might have a newsletter that you can get something in, so that's worth asking there. The PTA or PTSA or whatever it's called at your school may have a newsletter as well. A lot of schools may actually send home with each family a welcome to the new school year packet, and they may actually solicit a flyer from you for that too. That's a paper flyer, and I'll go through a little bit in a second where to order paper flyers, because we will print those for you. So see if that's something. I know on Queen Anne, they have a Queen Anne, it used to be a newspaper. I believe it's all online now, but there's a newspaper for Queen Anne. So your neighborhood may have either an electronic or a paper newsletter or a newspaper that goes out. So look for those kind of things. I know Wallingford has the Wallyhood blog, for example. So sort of know what's going on in your neighborhood and leverage that too. So, and it used to be, I think the link here for all the recruitment resources sends you to the brand center there. And I gotta eat some cookies, and then you can see. Oh yeah, here it is. 2023 recruitment resources. Here it is. There's peer-to-peer cards, logos, flyers, email images, posters, postcards, billboards, videos, you name it, virtual backgrounds, yard signs, all that good stuff is right in there. So that link is super helpful there. I should have I'm just going to talk about it. I was going to go into another cube and grab it. But a lot of schools are going to have some sort of back to school barbecue or curriculum night. You can either reach out to the school and see when that is. You might have parents that go to that school. They might reach out to you as a Cub Scout leader and say, hey, can you be there? Because that's a lot of times they're going to focus activities that are going on around the school. So in there, you probably want to have some sort of fun activity. Bring a Pinewood Derby track with some old Pinewood Derby cars. Another thing that I've got here at the office is we have some spin casting rods, and they have this little fake fish at the end of the line there. And then there are fake minnows, and then there's some fake fish that sort of look like flippers, and you try to hook the fake fish with it. So that's a fun activity. And of course, if you're going to have a Pinewood Derby track or something like this backyard bass fishing game, then families are going to come by and stop at your booth, and you're going to want some maybe some older scouts. You can leverage some scouts from the local troop to race the Pinewood Derby cars with the kids while you're talking to mom and dad about joining Scouts. So leverage some of those things. But the important thing, while you're at that barbecue is you start collecting contact and building your prospect list for families that are going to join this fall. And just the easy way to do that, let's see here. Oh, here is you're just going to go to the request more information button at yourmy.scouting.org/scouting. And then just go here, and then you're going to copy the link address, and then you can turn that link into a QR code, and you can start a virtual sign-in sheet. We used to, back in the old days, we would give out these two-part carbon copy sign-in sheets, and you give one to somebody else, and you'd keep one so you didn't lose all the information here. But that QR code will send them right to the interest form, and a lot of people will just tell them to beam that with their phone, and then just like on a menu, you'd find in a restaurant now, it'll send them to that sign-in sheet, and it's real simple. Most people's phone already fills out most of the form for them, and then it's going to land in that back end in the application manager there. So you can start inviting them to your future meetings and your open house from there. But important, while you're there, at least try to collect some contact information, and then have some flyers at that event that people can put on their refrigerator to come to the open house and join there. So, but this is super easy. I just made this one up right before the meeting in Word there. And then you can always have this in your notebook and stuff that you bring to all your scout meetings. And if you have new families fetch up there, you can always make sure you get their contact information so you can get the ball rolling there. So, Frank, back to the agenda. All right. So this is sort of all stuff for inviting people to an open house. Anybody got any other things that I might have missed that they want to jump in at this point? So I can take a breath here. And
yeah, sure. I think when we were talking about this meeting and like when to do recruiting, like we did our recruiting really in the spring before going into the summer. So I had so many questions for you on how to sign people up online during the summer. But bringing scouts to an event is a great way for them to see how the pack works and make them feel welcome and kind of get some momentum going into the summer. So making them like our membership committee had looked at all the Cubs that were applying in the spring. And I think that's helpful coming into the fall and making sure that you have people like we settled it all during the summer. So I guess the recommendation would be like while you're making the calendar for next year, think about doing a recruiting event in April, May timeframe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. And I'll just point out that Pack 144, I think you guys may be the largest pack in the council or one of the largest packs in the council. It's got over 100 kids on the books. So that's awesome. And yeah, anytime you can have an open house is awesome. We've had some really like the pack on Queen Anne used to always do their joining meeting in the spring. So yeah, you got to do at least one open house a year. Most people do it in the fall. That's a lot of times when families are looking to join there. Greg, you mentioned something else I was going to tag on. Now I forgot what it is, but maybe I'll.
I was talking about some of the orientation. You did touch a little bit on like the online application and making sure that the pack was discoverable because ours wasn't and still isn't. But I've got to work that out internally. I think I know what we need to do now. Maybe I'll just ask the question if I can, if you don't mind me taking
Sure.
it. Is it all about just automatically accept youth applications to this unit? Is that what makes our pack?
No, here, let me pull that up. it might be a tiny bit down a rabbit hole, but I think I can spend 5 minutes elaborating here, and I think it'll be to the benefit of everybody here. So,
Okay, I'd be happy
if
to
I
do it at
can
the end.
find,
Yeah.
if I can find the right tab that oh yeah, here. This is the right, and hopefully I'm still sharing my screen here. So, oh, okay. Let's go through the place that you are going to go to. It's going to be under Organization Manager, and then it's going to be under Unit Pin right here. And I'm going to just go to PAC 144 to use as an example right here. And then, so Greg, you're going to want to toggle this that says Appear on Be a Scout. And then, of course, you guys can edit all of this information. It's probably the right website here and right description and everything here. And I don't know, is Jeremy still the right person?
Yeah, Jeremy's the right person.
There?
Just made the change right now
Yeah.
for appearing there.
Yeah.
Like, I need to ask everybody else if we're going
Mhm.
to let people apply online, but thanks.
Yeah, so all you got to do now is just toggle right there. So
Cool.
that's where you are going to update your pin, so you're sort of visible there. Now, as people apply online, they are going to, here, let me, no. Yeah, they'll just click down this Apply Now button. If they already have a my.scouting.org account, they'll log into that. If not, it'll force them as part of the application process to create a my.scouting.org account, and they can use that same stuff for Scout Book and everything there, and administering transfers and all that stuff that you do there. So yeah, and it just has you fill out a youth application, or you can apply as an adult volunteer at that link there, and it's going to charge each family the national registration fees, Scout Life magazine, and there's a council fee. And hopefully everybody got the notice that the way to Boy Scouts of America, as of August 1st of this year, they're now charging everybody at the month that they join 12 months of registration fee there, instead of the prorated thing we did up until December 31. So I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now, but that might raise some questions. But there's a lot of, if you log into your my.scouting.org account, there's a lot of detail on that if you need some more details on that. So, did that answer your question, Greg?
Sure does. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. All right. Any other things folks are doing to promote an open house and get more families and sort of on the promotion into things before we start going down the rabbit hole of having an open house? Righty then. I will keep rolling down the agenda. I was going to say, I guess the next thing on the agenda before we move into the event itself is there's a great article on, and I've got it linked at the bottom of the agenda. I've got a whole bunch of links, but there's a link to it, and they called it Normal Friend Events. And so basically, anytime your Cub Scout pack is doing something like a rocket launch, or you're going on a hike, or you're going bowling, or you're going to the aquarium, whatever it is, you're going to the, the trout farm or something and going fishing and stuff. Those are great opportunities to turn that into a peer-driven recruitment event. I mean, that's totally how I joined, and I'll talk about that for just a second here. And you should also use that as an invitation method too for your open house. The day I joined Scouts, I was 11 years old, and I was climbing a tree in the backyard. My dad yelled out the back window, and he said, "You're going to a Scout meeting. And I yelled back and I said, no, I'm not. Magnum PI's on in 15 minutes. But it turned out that my best friend, I didn't even know he was in Scouts. And, you know, their troop was planning a camp out. And so my best friend Steve and his mom had come by our house and invited, I know, looking back on it, I know Steve's mom wanted Steve to have a friend in Scouts to do it with him, which is awesome. And, you know, I wound up being in Scouts because of it. So you probably sort of have to approach it from, you know, mom and dad, jiggering that a little bit, you know, but also getting Scouts to invite their friends to join Scouts too. And our pack on Queen, I'll keep using them as an example. The Cub Master would roll around with this big stack. And Menchie's was the ice cream shop up on Queen Anne Hill. You probably have everybody's got an ice cream shop in their neighborhood, and they all sell $5 gift cards and stuff. So he would roll around with this big stack of Menchie's gift cards. And if a kid or a scout brought another potential scout to the meeting, the contract with the scout to get the Menchie's gift card was they had to introduce their friend, bring them to the whatever the next meeting was, you know, if it was the open house or if they were, you know, building a rocket or whatever it was, and then introduce that friend to the Cub Master. So, and then they got a Menchie's gift card. The family didn't have to join. So, so sort of keep that in your tool of bag of tools there. All right. The event itself is going to be fun. Wrap it around something that's fun to do. I know Pack 177 up in View Ridge, they always do their joining meeting, and they get one of those big boxes of rain gutter regatta kits from the scout shop. The troop helps out and helps the scouts put together the rain gutter regatta boats. They have the rain gutter regatta set up there, and they just have a bracket set up. They use some sort of online system and a big screen TV to keep track of who's winning the race and everything in the rain gutter regatta. But I know when I go out there and help them out with the event, you know, last fall we were super lucky and there was a line of people coming to it. So you sort of want to funnel people through a welcome area and then have a couple people, let's see, here's my, with a couple of these signs and just say, hey, we're so glad to see you here. We're going to be building rain gutter regatta boats tonight. We want to make sure we get your contact information and just have them beam that with their phone and get signed in there. And the cool thing, and then the sort of program rolls on from there. There's a nice brief welcome. A schedule of events for the upcoming year is handed out. They don't really need to know too much more than they're going to get some, you know, as they join, they're going to get some welcome information, where to get their uniform and book and stuff like that. So you can sort of touch on that a little bit and say when you go join, it's going to take care of all your BSA fees. You are going to need to let people know if you have local pack dues, how much those are and when they're due, and that there's going to be a separate, at least for the time being, there's a separate collection method that you'll have to do locally for that. So there's some basic information, so make sure you cover that. Just make sure people feel super welcome, have a fun event, and make sure you collect all their information. Now, during the meeting, what I'll do, let me see if I can keep clicking these tabs. Here it is. Here. Oh yeah, here. In the application manager, I'll just, under invitation, and you can just, this will be just showing your pack there. You'll see, and these pop in there right away. You'll see a whole bunch of new invitations pop in from that night. And so what you can do is you can I'm just going to open one that's already opened up, or otherwise it gets marked as opened. You can start sending all those people the application right there at that meeting. And you can say, hey, you have an invitation in your email there, and you can sign up right from that there. Challenge is getting people to do that night, but at least you got their contact information. You can continue to do some follow-up there. Let's see here. So, for example, that rain gutter regatta that PAC 177 did, that was all outdoors. They did it right outside of their meeting location there. Another good one I saw that was outdoors was in a park, and they did a scavenger hunt. And so where we welcome people gathered their contact information. Everybody got a little sheet, and they go around and you get a prize at the end when you filled out your scavenger hunt. You go meet your den leader. You went to the grill, and you got a hamburger from the Cub Master that was grilling hamburgers. There's like a little activity that you can do. I can't remember what they did for an activity. And there's a couple other things. You would learn about different parts of Cub Scouting program at different stations that people would do. And they would, put a little stamp on the passport. And at the end of the night, everybody got a PAC T-shirt when they filled out their thing. So that's probably a fun thing to do. Indoor events are great. It could rain or something like that. One I saw that was really cool. The PAC had their Pinewood Derby tracks there, and you can buy. I'm sure you can buy them at any Lego store or something like that. They sell axles that are Lego axles that fit on a Pinewood Derby track, and there's probably the resource in your PAC. There's going to be some family that has just this giant Rubbermaid bin full of Lego bits. And so the kids just went wild, and they had like an example Lego car, and kids made these crazy Lego cars, and they raced the Lego cars down the thing. So people were in and out of there, signed in, signed up, made a Lego Pinewood Derby car and raced it, in 45 minutes. Goal might be get everybody out of there in less than an hour. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Any other cool things that people have done for an open house? Everybody's super quiet.
I mean, just making sure that it's a fun event. So that's the thing. So we usually do like something like we do like tennis ball, golf, and that's usually like one of the things that we invite people to. So nothing too scary, but where they're moving around and get to play with the team, and get to meet a den. So.
Yeah, tell us how tennis ball golf works. Is that like in the gymnasium with like little boxes with holes cut on them or something?
No, we usually play like best ball, and they're two tennis balls tied together with a string. And so, each cub throws, and then everybody else throws from whatever the best ball is. And the hole is a 5-gallon bucket. So, just people bring some buckets, and we go set like a 9-hole course at a park usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a little bit like Frisbee golf.
Yeah.
In a way. Yeah. Oh, cool.
So
low tech. Yeah, more low tech than the Lego thing. Yeah, kid.
Exactly.
So are the tennis balls on a rope like a foot apart, or are they like right?
Yeah,
together?
about a foot apart. Yep.
I'm going to steal your idea.
It's worked out pretty well for us. It's in the common rotation. We do it just about every year.
And I live right by a tennis court, so I can go get supplies real fast.
Exactly. Same here. I know what you mean.
So
Fantastic.
what we do like stomp rockets usually.
Those are great.
So you can do that indoors or outdoors. And then We've also done like a bike rodeo. That's a little more complex though.
Yeah, you got to make sure that everybody that's invited to it brings a bike and a helmet for
Yes.
that one. Yeah, but that's totally doable, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh, I did want to back up. In all this stuff, I mean, we've got stuff here that we will print for you. And I skipped over a thing, but these are sticker sheets right here. They're 8 to a sheet right here, and they've got the Cub Scout logo. But we will print the time, join Cub Scouts, kindergarten through 5th grade, and we'll print your time, date, location on here. So this is another great method if the school will let you do it. And but you go by the school and you say, hey, can we take a couple of minutes to make an announcement at lunchtime, recess, or some sort of school assembly to invite families to join Cub Scouts? And so if they say yes, then you're good. And then, so what I do for that is I bring a backpack of fun. It's going to have a Pinewood Derby card. There's my red Prius right there. It's going to have a fishing pole in the backpack and some other things that we're going to plan to do that year in scouting. And so it's a brief presentation. Hey, this is what Scouts is about. These are some fun things we're going to do. I put a can of food in there and talk about the canned food drive that we do. So I can cover some things that we do that are for the community in there. And then I say, I'm going to come around and give every student here that wants, I usually use, if they're Mustangs or something at the school, I'm going to give every Mustang one of these invitations, put it on your shirt. When you go home, show that to mom and dad. And then I have them repeat, okay, remind me, who remembers when the meeting is going to be? And they'll say, oh, it's, kid will raise their hand. It's tomorrow night. Who remembers what time? Oh, 7 o'clock. And then you ask them, where's the meeting going to be? Oh, right here in the lunchroom. And then I'll tell them, okay, remind me who you need to bring with you to the meeting. Yeah, mom or dad or the person who takes care of you. So I just sort of make sure that they reiterate that. And that's like a super awesome method. And then we'll print these stickers for you. The place to order that is right at seattlebsa.org. And then I think it's under more. It's under. I'm gonna have to figure out where it is. Oh, it's under membership, right? It's right on the front page. Scroll down and go to membership. And then there's a marketing materials requests here. So you'll just put in who you are, the information you want printed. And then there is, as you go through here, there's samples of what we'll print out for you here somewhere. Well, you have to dig into this and figure out where the samples are. It's not totally clear to me, but that's where you order that, or you can just send me or Tim an email and tell us what you need there. That also works. We have, I know we've got posters, we've got flyers, and we'll print all this stuff for you so you don't have to run it through your inkjet printer or something like that. So that's where you're going to find all of that. So yeah, those are great ideas for the event itself. Just sort of reiterate what Greg said, have a fun activity, make sure everybody feels welcome. And then I'm just going to tag onto that. Make sure you get their contact information, and then have an invitation for them to join too, and have some basic information on what's going to be happening that year, and sort of the next step, is probably coming to the next meeting. You can get the book and eventually get the uniform and stuff like that. No big deal. You guys can cover that later. So, let's see. I'm just going to cover. We're doing pretty good. We're sort of cruising right in the last couple of minutes, so hopefully we'll get it out of here in the hour. But Tim and I can hang on and answer any questions as long as we need to. there is some follow-up that's going to need to happen after the meeting, of course. All these things in Invitation Manager, you want to keep working with those families, sort of a reasonable number of reach outs until you get them actually joining. They're going to need to be assigned to a den. You're probably going to have a parent meeting with all of those families. You know, now that you join, here are your expectations. You know, this is all run by volunteers. We need people to take on these events and roles. So you're going to have one of those meetings there. And hopefully, you know, that's part of the process of converting them from a prospect to a member. One thing, if you do use the online application, as people join, they are going to start getting a series of onboarding emails, and it is going to have, oh, cool, you just joined. I think one of these links is going to have some examples of it. Oh yeah, here it is. Hopefully the link still works. Yeah, so here's an example of the onboarding information. It's going to have information for your local Cub Scout pack, of your contact information, probably for the key 3. It's going to tell them how to get trained as a leader, give them a little hint that it's a volunteer organization. It's going to tell them the essentials that they need for their uniform in the book and where to get that. It's going to have some more resources. So these are going to go out over a series of time and help you get families onboarded. So these start rolling out as soon as they become, as they sign up through online registration. So, and I'll invite them to subscribe to, this is this obviously old, Scout's Life now. So hopefully that email has been changed there. So, all right. So that sort of helps you out there. Yeah, and you're going to sort of want to turn that into recruiting some new leaders, fill up all those positions, make sure, you know, now's the time to bite the bullet. You know, if you've got a den of 20 kids or something in it, you know, probably a good time to recruit another den leader or 2 and get that to the ideal size of 6 to 8 kiddos in a den and everything there too. So any other folks have any ideas for things to touch base as you're getting new, because everybody's dealing with this and probably everybody's got a little bit different approach, but getting new families onboarded? You guys have had a bunch of new families join, and Claudia, who's been doing the onboarding there at PAC 319 to make sure that every family sort of integrated there as they join?
It's a teamwork. G has been helping, David, all the parents have been helping, and we've done the regatta during the fall, what is it called? Fall picnic at our church. And we've done other events too. We were hoping that with the Camp Edwards, we were hoping to get a day camp in August, but we understand that they're closed. But it would be nice in the future if they could stay open during August time and have the day camp for non-scouts as well. To invite.
We're actually going to be adding more day camps next year too.
Perfect.
So I don't know if August is the target, but yeah.
And Claudia, she made a bunch of poster boards of all the events that we do. And so the day before school, we have our meet and greet where at school where a bunch of, where all the kids drop off their school supplies and meet their teachers. And so everybody stops by our table, and that's where a lot of our new Cub Scouts came, because they stopped by our table, took a look at the pictures and, you know, the Pinewood Derby cars and the Scout Life magazine, and we talked to them about, you know, Pinewood Derby and rockets. And so a lot of them, just by piquing their interest, give us their information, and than came to the first PAC meeting.
Cool. Hopefully all this stuff helps you dial it in a little bit for what you're doing there. That's always been super successful for you guys. So yeah, keep your eye out because those are going to be getting scheduled any old day now. Those school open house and meet and greets or curriculum nights or whatever your school calls it. So, all right, cool. We're at the bottom of the agenda here in the last couple minutes. Anybody got any other questions? Go ahead, Ken. You're muted, by the way.
I know, I was just trying to find that button at the same time. Going back to the emails that the national sends out, does that information come from, you said the unit information's on there? One of them?
It is. So let me just scroll down to this example here. Meet your pack. It's gonna be what you put into. Let me just go find. I got too many tabs open. Oh, here it. No, not that tab. Not that tab. Oh yeah, it's going to be in your my.scouting.org account, and then you're going to look up under Organization Manager, and I'm just going to pick. I'm going to pick on PAC 144 since I've got the Aurora units here, and you're going to look at this key 3 information. It's going to have people reach out to Philip, Robin, and Greg here. So make sure you've got the right key 3 members registered there. And then if you have your unit meeting address listed in here, it'll publish that to them as well. So just make sure that all of this unit pin, roster, sort of all that, or position manager, all this stuff is as correct as it can be there.
Okay.
So, and then me, Tim, or Barrett, our registrar, can help with some registration issues as they creep up and everything too. Did that answer your question, Ken?
Yeah, and then does it just or Cub Scouts, or does it do the Scouts too?
I don't know if it does. If it has an onboarding process for Scouts BSA troops, I'd have to look into that and see. I know it definitely does it for Cub Scouts.
Yeah, I've heard that rumor. I've never seen one. I've always wondered what that invitation email looks like. So that's great.
I'd be curious, Ken, if you have a Scout join your troop and they use the online application process, maybe buddy up with that family as they go through it and just have them forward those emails to you. Because I don't think you get copied on those. I know you don't.
No.
Yeah, it'd be probably TMI, but it'd be good to know if we're sending out the wrong information on your behalf. But it's going to be right here in the organization manager where you're going to check to make sure that all that's ready to go.
Yeah, it's always nice to know what they're seeing too. So yeah, we'll do that. Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, awesome. Hey, thanks so much for spending a summer night with us and everything. And this is getting recorded here, so hopefully we can share that around and get spread out a little bit more widely. If you got if you want to get a little different take on it, next Thursday there's going to be one that the National Council's doing, and that wound up in the same invitation there. So thank you guys again, and let me or Tim know and we especially want to help out you guys be successful. So let us know the time, date, location, and we will help you with any printed stuff there, and we can even show up and meet and greet and help you through the process there.
Can you hear me now? Nice. Well, I plan on going to, if you send me a date and time for an Aurora unit, try and do my best to get there.
All right, folks. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too. Take care. Thanks, John. Thanks, Tim.